Okay, we'll get started. Thanks for joining, everyone. Appreciate you making the time to hear a bit more about the competition and what's on offer from ourselves and the partners we've got involved. So, if you can just put any questions that you've got, perhaps as we go through into the chat, and we'll come to them at the end, or we'll try and maybe answer them on the way. But if not, we'll get to the end. Well, there'll be a bit of a Q&A. I'll just start by outlining what we're going to cover today. So we'll have an introduction to LYVA Labs, give a little bit of introduction to people who aren't aware of us, what we're here to do and why we exist. Also the growth platform, high growth team as well, who've been supportive in developing this competition and getting it out to the network. We'll talk obviously then about the fund and what's on offer, how it's not just about the funding, it's also about support on offer from us as LYVA Labs, as well as the partners, how we can perhaps turn our initial funding from LYVA Labs into a broader offer. So we want to outline how that might work, and then that will be alongside talking through the more specific support from each of the partners. So we've got CPI, the Materials Innovation Factory, Virtual Engineering Centre, STFC Hartree, and MTC. So we've got 5 really strong partners who've joined this. So we'll outline what they can offer, and then obviously how you apply, how you express your interest. And we've tried to make it as low stress and easy as possible to put your interest in, and then we can have a further discussion. But I'll outline how that's going to work. So that's what we're going to cover. I'm just going to hand over to Lorna now, who's our CEO, just to give a little bit of an intro to LYVA Labs.
Hi everyone. Didn't see the join then, did you? Some of you know me, some of you don't. My name's Lorna Green. I am the Chief Executive of LYVA Labs, and we were founded in 2021, initially with a health and life science fund, with money that we secured from the Combined Authority. But very quickly we were supported to diversify and expand our offer more broadly in the innovation space. And that's when Joe came in last year. So Joe's been working really hard to kind of build this programme. But in the background, LYVA Labs is really about developing an organisation that can serve businesses across the city region, regardless of sector or size, who want to innovate and grow through innovation. So we have a shared mission with the Combined Authority, and that is to increase investment in innovation across the Liverpool City Region. And we'll do that through providing tailored innovation consultancy, exploiting the wealth of innovation assets across our knowledge base and within our businesses. So trying to foster and facilitate much more collaborative R&D and engagement, and then finding the right funding for those projects that we do identify and support. So whether that's grant funding, private funding, angel funding, or a blend of both, we're here to help you find the right funding for you at the right time for your business. And the biggest win for us is really about fostering more collaboration across that ecosystem, because the more we can do that, the more projects, more collaboration we can get, and the more we can open up our ecosystem to support our business base to grow. So essentially we want to help you as businesses, help entrepreneurs, and then also help our knowledge partners and our ecosystem to join up and just do some great stuff together really, and help you do that. So Joe's been working for the last year. He's been piloting this programme in particular. He's worked with about 6 businesses and tested all his approach, and he's developed and honed that approach. And so we're now launching this programme proper with this competition today. It will be the first of many to come, but we're delighted to have some great partners from across that ecosystem to kickstart this programme with us. As Joe mentioned, CPI, MTC, Virtual Engineering Centre from the University, STFC Hartree, and the Materials Innovation Factory, some of the great assets in the city region who can help our businesses with their projects and help them secure that funding. We're also obviously very pleased to have Growth Platform supporting this, and reaching out to the business community to bring you all in here today. So I'm going to stop there, because this isn't about LYVA Labs, this is about you and your businesses and how we can support you. So I'm going to hand back to Joe. Thanks, Joe.
Cool. Great. So I'll now hand over quickly to the Growth Platform team, so Paul and Claire, just to give a an intro to the high growth team and their offer and how we fit together, LYVA Labs and Growth Platform.
All right, thanks, Joe. Thanks, Lorna. Good afternoon, everyone, from the lovely Municipal Hotel in Liverpool. I'm alongside my colleague Claire Pedersen here, and we also have our colleague Phil Anders on the call also. The High Growth Programme really follows on from the work that we did during COVID, during the lockdowns. I'm sure you all remember that, you were all there, and most notably the Future Innovation Fund and the High Growth Innovation Fund. And really what we're looking to do is to work with businesses that have that potential to innovate, to adapt and to grow. Our role really is to thoroughly understand the range of support available locally and nationally, and to work it intensively with businesses and business leaders to understand any issues, any opportunities, and then connect them with that appropriate support to facilitate their growth. We've also developed a free to access diagnostic tool that looks at a business's business model across key areas: leadership, finance, value proposition, markets, products, services, people, operations, sustainability, innovation, and I probably left one or two off there. And at the back of that, to agree with businesses the relative strengths and any areas to focus on, and then to create a plan for future growth. I believe it's quite noisy, coming across quite noisy from where we are. So with that, I'll hand over to our colleague Phil Anders on the call, and he can tell you a little about his role. Thanks, Joe.
Better set the mic up, won't it? Good morning, everybody. Afternoon, everybody. Even. My name's Phil Anders, Cluster Manager for Advanced Manufacturing. 4th week in role. So getting to know a lot of you, get to know a lot of people and new people and some existing people. My role is to work with the clusters in the advanced manufacturing sector. So I've been working alongside Paul Talon and I've known Matt Stutterbury for many, many years. And it's to advance those clusters, those activities, and sort of looking at sort of some of the opportunities for developing those businesses who are looking to supply chain development, look at innovation, skills, exploiting opportunities and diversification. And part of my role is to work really closely with each and every one of you to ensure that we drive our companies up the value chain and make sure we're not missing any opportunities. I'll hand over now to whoever's next, Joe.
Cheers. Cheers, Phil. So yeah, that was just important to sort of highlight for us the sort of broader offer from Growth Platform, and just to kind of illustrate that kind of overarching support. And I wanted to highlight that LYVA Labs are really focused on like the R&D aspect of what might come through that business support. So this is really how we see that fitting together with Growth Platform, is that we're a kind of an offer that can help support that program. I'll move on now to the fund itself. So you'll have seen this in the posts that we've done on socials, but we're looking to find Liverpool City Region businesses who've got a new idea around product or technology that can change the way we do things today and fuel future growth for their business. We're looking to award grant funds to foster new R&D partnerships, and that is really the core of what the competition is about. It's about inspiring new collaborations across the ecosystem and exploiting the strengths we have within it, and helping you to develop that idea towards commercialization. We're going to be doing, so obviously today we're focusing on advanced manufacturing, and we're looking to fund around 3 projects. We do have discretion to increase that if we find projects that are really high potential to the region. We're not going to restrict that, but that's kind of the area we're looking at. And then we're going to follow this on as well next year with a net zero call, and then one around health and life science, and there may be future other ones as well beyond that. We may come back to advanced manufacturing, but it's really about focusing on the Liverpool City Region strengths, innovation strengths, and trying to make the most of those. So, I've got a little cartoon man who's appeared. So just to illustrate a little bit about how LYVA Labs consultancy team, which is what I work in. So my background is I've worked in Unilever for many years around R&D development, marketing, innovation. So that's kind of my background. So we want to help businesses who've identified a problem to solve or a need to address in their marketplace. We can help provide sort of really intensive support, workshop, kind of full day workshops and beyond around market and customer research, proposition development, and then assisting with project management and checking in with you regularly around that project and how it's progressing. Now the little man becomes relevant. As well as part of that sort of work that we do with you that's more intensive around helping to develop the idea, we'll then also make sure we're matching you up with the right partners. That could be people on this call, or in other circumstances could be others. And we've obviously then got the grant funds that we're highlighting today to help seed those partnerships. So the grant funding, I want to make clear, the funding, the 15k we're talking about, doesn't go to us. I'm fully funded. It goes directly to the project and the work that you would do with that partner. And then we would, as a kind of end of maybe that phase, but it would probably keep on going, is to help you with finding follow-on funding and supporting you with those applications to receive that funding. So it's really a full journey that we're looking to help support you with. Just to highlight sort of the stuff we've been doing so far. So we've only been live really sort of 6 months, but we've managed to work with sort of half a dozen businesses so far, sort of trialing our approaches and things like that. So we've highlight a few here that we've worked with. They're from different sectors: digital, health, engineering focus, consumer focus. So we're not sector specific necessarily, but we are obviously for this call. So yeah, that's kind of the work we do around. So it's really workshop type sessions and getting into the detail around what the idea is all about. And we've had some really strong feedback so far from some of the people we've helped support. We've matched people up with partners in the region. So Brinton Healthcare, who are a pharmaceuticals company out in Runcorn, we've introduced them to the Materials Innovation Factory on this call today, and Icon, and BOMAC with DefProc Engineering, who are an engineering consultancy based in Liverpool. And we've also helped people with funding support and applications. A couple here of examples, helping BOMAC with their, and I think we've helped a few others as well with the Launchpad applications, as well as a GPIP Singapore trip for asset handling. So it just kind of shows kind of the work we've been doing to date and what we're looking to continue to do, really. So what's on offer for the fund? So we've got 15k is what we're looking at for this grant, and we're looking, as I said, to try and use that 15k to then also bring in other funding to help support the project and make it a bigger opportunity. We've got the additional fully funded support from us as LYVA Labs around customer market research, proposition development. So that's in addition to the funding. And we do have the criteria around you being based in the city region. It's ideally $1 million turnover plus, but we're not going to sort of rule out businesses who are smaller than that. We're trying to find people who've got strong potential, really. And we also are saying that the 15k needs to be match funded by the business, and this funding is for the R&D project costs only. For the fund, as part of the application process, we'll also just be getting into the detail about what your project's about, and therefore diagnosing who is the right partner. You may already have one in mind, and that's absolutely fine. But we'll talk with you about that as we get into the details of what your application's about. So just to summarise kind of the LYVA Labs offer, it's fully funded support from us around the things I've talked about on the left-hand side. And just to illustrate the funding opportunity, so 15k from us, business match funding. We want to bring in further funding opportunities from the partners who are on the call today, and then also support you with getting further funding for that project, be it from UKRI, Innovate UK, or some other route. And you'll see this diagram on the right hand side as we go through the partner slides now, just to make it consistent about how the project could potentially shape up and the funding could shape up. So I think that's it from me on my slides. I'm going to hand over to Mark Sudbury.
Hi everyone. Yes, if you don't know me, Mark Sudbury, Business Development Manager for Manufacturing Technology Centre in Liverpool, covering the Merseyside region in the northwest. And it was just to give you a quick introduction to what we have locally for extra funding for SME-sized businesses that complements what LYVA Labs are doing, and it makes us obviously a funding neighbour with this program, but also physical neighbour, because we're only just around the corner at our offices there in the Science Park. So what we offer for the region is that we have full access to the services that MTC offers, and this is across all of our 9 technologies, including things like robotics and automation, digitization, additive manufacturing, material selection, all these different variety of technologies. Companies can access guidance and advice for their innovation in those areas. Look to us to help de-risk everything from implementing new technology, product development, new product design, things like that. And they have access to all our fully qualified engineers, of which there's probably 700 or 800 of them now in our organisation. And we've grown the Liverpool facility to 100 people. So they can have all our fully experienced, across any level of knowledge, engineers to guide them into looking at a whole variety of things. And we sit on, as a national provider of support for SMEs, government reach funding of 50%, but we've benefited from having extra funding from the LCR growth platform to top up that just for companies in the catchment of Liverpool City Region, which is another 25%. So we offer 75% funding, and this is for SME-based businesses in the region. And what we've done is we typically package up our support into around 12-day packages. That's a nice size of project to get an opening discovery or a detailed investigation in one specific area. For example, say looking at additive manufacturing, using our machines to 3D print certain parts, to prototype, things like that. So we think 12 days is a nice size of what we call a module. And each module is there to help a company improve their productivity, de-risk technology, look at technical governance, look at project management, all a host of things in those blocks of 12 days. And with all that funding, in terms of hard money, that equates to about £4,125 it costs of a contribution from the client towards those 12 days. So it brings a day rate which is significantly higher than we charge for, say, Jaguar Land Rover. For the same engineer, 75% funded in that package. So that's how we tend to put our money on the table and our services for the region. The Liverpool office is very much focused on digitization, digital simulation, collecting data, Industry 4.0 type thinking, and we look at de-risking that and showing companies how they can implement that sort of technology. The other side of us as well is that we have a sort of shop front called the Product Manufacturing Incubation Team, which is there to help companies who've got new product design, and they want to look to us to look at design for manufacture, design refinements, material selection, design for assembly. And we've got the access to all those engineers, but specifically aimed through our product manufacturing incubation team to help in the world of new product design and development. So that's also available in the same funding offer as well. Okay, hope that explains where we sit on things.
Brilliant. Thanks, Mark. And obviously, just a reminder as we go, if there's any questions, just pop them into the chat and we'll come to them at the end. Right, handing over to Stephen from the MIF. think you might be on mute.
Hi, can
Stephen.
you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, I was
Yeah,
just
we
had to
can,
switch myself on. Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. So my name is Steve Leese. I'm the Ops and Partnerships Director for the Materials and Innovation Factory. I'll assume you don't know an awful lot about us, but we're basically a professional services team within the Faculty of Science and Engineering. And we're inside a £100 million facility, which is a fourth generation R&D lab. And within my building, I have multinationals, R&D teams from the university, and also SMEs and smaller companies. In terms of what we do, as I said, we're industry funded in the sense everything we do, we earn a living from those projects. And our focus areas is formulation primarily of new products, and that's in the chemistry and materials domain. We also use a lot of robotics and professional services folks to deliver those outcomes. I've got around 30 professional services folks who work full-time with industry, and I've got about £30 million of advanced equipment as well. The way we offer our services is on a marginal cost basis. So basically we provide the equipment and the people against the project. So for example, we had Boots in last summer, and over 12 weeks they developed a new product which they launched globally as a result of the work with us using our robotic technologies. Our main partner in the facility is Unilever, and we support their global operations, developing products from across the world. And you have a similar opportunity to access those capabilities, as has anybody else who operates with us, whether it's academic, SME or multinational. Our prime USP is our expertise in the formulation of the new materials, predominantly liquids, but we also do solids, having access to the equipment so that you can actually use it without having to own it yourself, and also to use some of the robots that we've developed specifically for those tasks. So the key benefit really is a marginal cost way of moving a product or an idea that you have without the capex, and purely looking at the things you need to do. And having been an MD of a small company and taken it from these 15k funds all the way through to multi-million-pound Series A, I recognise that you need to spend this money wisely. And if it's in the areas that I've just identified, then we're probably the right people to work with. And that's us. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thanks, Steve. Next, we've got Louis from STFC Hartree.
Hi, can you hear me? Yeah. So yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Louis Rowland from the STFC Hartree Centre based in Daresbury. Just wanted to say thanks to Joe for organising this to begin with. Really excited to be part of the partnership offering. So our offer is very much looking at data projects and digital technologies, such as the slide says, supercomputing, data analytics, artificial intelligence, and quantum computing. And really, this can be anything from beginning that journey right the way through to businesses that are looking to explore emerging technologies. On the example, I've included the Bridge AI program, which is currently looking to support businesses who are very early in their digital journey. Typical support within this may be looking at how to use AI or data to make better business decisions and to improve efficiencies, improve quality, or cut production times. We can very much interchange that Bridge AI support. So we've got a lot of other supports available through the STFC and the larger piece across the councils. I have tried to get as much information on the slides, so apologies for the messiness. But just to note, we do have a lot of additional funds that open and close through the year, and decisions on these funds are made locally, and it would be great to get more businesses from the city region to access the grants. And some examples of the other grants that are available at the moment are available at the bottom of the slides. That's the Cross Cluster Proof of Concept Fund and the Industry Impact Fund. So great for building out larger projects, and they are 100% grant funds. I don't want to take up too much time, so I'll leave it there for now, but really looking forward to working with LYVA Labs and the other partners on this. Thanks.
Thanks, Louis. Okay, and over to Damien CPI.
Thanks everyone. Hi Joe, and thank you for being as part of this webinar. It's been really interesting so far. So I work for CPI. We're part of the High Value Manufacturing Catapult as our MTC. 20 years old business. We've been going mainly up in the northeast of England, but now we have a base in the Liverpool Science Park. As you see on the slide here, we cover a wide range of different things across biologics, biotechnology, pharmaceuticals, formulation, quite similar to what the MIF do as well, electronics. But we focus specifically now on certain sectors and markets. So materials and sustainability, materials is quite a big thing for us at the moment around, and also energy, health tech, pharma are quite key things for us. And what we bring to the table is we sit in that space between innovation and commercialization. So if someone's got an invention that they come through and would like to get to that commercialization space, we are that kind of process development to get them to that right point to ensure that their products that they have are there for them. We also have a team, as you see here, is the bid development team. So they will help identify other funds that are out there from Innovate UK, sort of the Research Council funding. And we also have an enterprises team, which will help with raising private investment as well. So we can help support businesses in that space there. So there's quite a wide range of things we can do. We work alongside Innovate UK Edge with their RTO Access grants. So again, if people are able to access those grants, and in addition to this funding, we can help them utilise that to have product roadmaps, etc. So quite a wide range of things we can do. Happy to share more details on the company and the sorts of businesses we help, but that's kind of just a rough overview for now.
Thank you, Damien. Finally, last but not least, Jim.
Hey, thanks, Joe. You said it before I could. Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Jim Mooney from the Virtual Engineering Centre. We're part of the University of Liverpool. We're based across 2 sites. We're in the Digital Innovation Facility on the University of Liverpool's campus, and we also have a presence at the Hartree Centre in Daresbury. We are a self-sustainable institute, which means that we don't have a teaching element to what we do. We focus entirely on business support. Started in 2010. In that time, we worked with a wide range of SMEs and also some larger organisations in aerospace and automotive, looking at virtual product design, testing, training, etc. We've successfully run 4 ERDF programs since 2016, helping over 260 SMEs launching new products and processes and technologies, and fostering collaboration with knowledge partners. Our main areas of specialism falls into what's basically listed in the slides, such as modelling, simulation, looking at products and processes, AI and data analytics, robotics, automation and advanced visualization, looking at design and manufacture products, collaboration and enhanced decision making. In terms of what we can offer as from now, the latest programme we're about to launch is funded by the UK Shared Prosperity Fund, and this falls in the form of support, which is direct time that we would give you with engineers. This will be done in collaboration also with the John Moores University in Edge Hill. So there'll be a number of providers working on this. The support we can offer is 100% contribution to that. The only pre-qualification we have is that we need to show that the support we give will actually make an impact. And by what I mean by impact will be that as a form of, we can show that it will help with growth, maybe profitability, employment, could help a business launch new products, new services, or adopt new technologies, thereby increasing efficiencies. So there's broad criteria of what we would classify as impact and how we could help. As I said, the support in the form of engineering time, and also it would enable businesses to also have full access to our facilities, which we have a whole raft of virtualization technologies, projection walls, goggles, etc. that they can use. Our target under UK SBF is to assist 100 businesses, and of those 100 businesses, 30 of those would be eligible to also apply for a capital support grant of up to, at this point in time to be clarified, but that would be £23,000. That's 100% grant funding, and it will be assessed by us again in line with the criteria of making impact. So that's about it. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Jim. Right, so that's all of the partners who've shared their support and what they can offer, and hopefully it was also clear on the right hand side how the funding, we're trying to kind of build those bigger pots. Hopefully that was clear for everyone. Next steps. So obviously we're at the briefing webinar today. We're looking for expression of interest by the 17th of October. So there's a simple online application form where we'll just take your contact details, and we want you to outline sort of 4 areas really: what the problem is or opportunity is, what the market opportunity is, what the size of the prize is there potentially, what your proposed idea is, and what you think your development needs are at the moment. And you can also, in there, if you've got a partner already in mind, feel free to sort of highlight those in that form. So it's quite simple. There's not a lot to it. We'll then do a kind of full project assessment over the 2 weeks following that. So we'll look to have a detailed scoping session with you. It won't be a further application form. It will be us sitting down with you to talk through the idea, understand the proposition, what the market is, what your roadmap of development looks like, and then talk through who the partner feels like, which partner feels like the best fit. And then, yeah, hopefully by sort of early November, we're awarding the winners, and we can sort of kick off those projects. So that's broadly the timeline and the plan, and what the process looks like. The form will look a bit like this on the left-hand side of the screen. So hopefully you'll find that when you go on this link here. If we can just maybe post that I'll post that into the chat, or you can, if you're fancy with a mobile phone, you can scan the QR code, and that should also take you to the website. Yeah, so that is pretty much it. I've seen a couple of questions coming through, so we'll kind of move on to that now, I think. So Claire, yeah, how strict are the criteria? Is the business, if the business has lower turnover staff? It's not strict, so we do have discretion on this. It was just a way of trying to highlight to people where we're sort of aiming the funding at. So it will potentially have an impact on who the winners are, but I wouldn't discourage you from applying and expressing your interest. And then, does the partner have to be in the LCR? No, they don't necessarily have to be. So CPI, for example, their facilities, a lot of them are based up in the northeast. So it may be that we would, if that was the right partner, it would go up to that region. If there really isn't a fit with the 5 partners that we've highlighted today, then we'll obviously explore who else might be the right fit for you. So there's not it's not a strict restriction, but we think the 5 partners we've highlighted should be a good fit for people on this call. But if not, it's not a problem. Hopefully that answers that, Rachel. Any other questions? Any from the partners at all? No? Good. Oh, that's reassuring. Same with the match. If they don't quite have 15k, I'm gonna put one on the spot for that one.
It's not a definite no. It may be that if it's a 10k plus 10k, maybe we match, but we match at a lower level, but until we know what kind of volume of requests and quality requests we get coming through, it's difficult to answer. So I wouldn't say it's a definite no. We're essentially looking for the businesses to commit to this as well. This isn't just free money from us to the business. This is a partnership for us to help you with your innovation and R&D project, to collaborate with a knowledge partner to do your development. So it's not a definite no, but ideally, there should be a match to show that the business has got. You're not just kind of looking at this as a free grant to try something, but that you're committed as well, and you're committed financially.
Yeah. I'll share the slides, Helen. Yeah. Mark, how do you assess which call the project goes into, i.e. manufacturing or life science? So really this is our discretion. So also we've got a project that's really strong and you've applied and it just happens to sit more in life science. That wouldn't be a restriction. We would still look to try and progress the project and it could also be eligible for the grant. As I said, it's kind of in our control. So yeah, so it's not a strict assessment on that, Mark.
So yes, we can share the slides.
Yeah.
Time limits to the project. Do we want it to complete?
I think if there's not necessarily a restriction on the LYVA Labs grant for that. There may be with the partners potentially.
My money at MTC, that extra 25%, is running from now until December 2025, with a possible little flexibility to fall into 2026. But yeah, we've worked to the end of 2025.
Yeah, so for LYVA Labs, it's not really a restriction. What if you have a project that is digital health and manufacture? Where would this fit? It could fit in either. So we wouldn't place a restriction on that. Still express your interest. What stage can idea be at? Yeah, that's absolutely fine, Rachel. So it could be that we just spend, for example, that workshop type sessions we've been doing with other businesses. That could be a really good starter for that, and we can get into the detail of where the idea is up to and work through what might help as an unblocker. So yeah, no restriction on that. Can we use this fund to leverage a larger match funding opportunity?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is our funding to give to you. So we want to select the best as part of our support offer. So it's not subject to any state aid or anything like that. So if you have other funding opportunities that you know we can build a bigger pot of money for you, that's really what this is all about. So our thinking is this at this stage, our 15 plus your 15 or thereabouts would kick the tires on the idea, bring the partners in, help you flesh out that proof of concept idea, but on the understanding that you're probably going to need a lot more money. But it's forming that collaboration, that partnership, forming the idea to help you then go on to get other funding in the future from it, whether that's a Innovate UK, UKRI, other type of fund. But if there's a match funding opportunity on the table now that this could leverage, then absolutely you can use that for that purpose.
Okay. Just going to give it 30 more seconds to see if there's any other questions. No, have we managed to, let me just post the link in the chat so that people have that. So that is the link to the form. If you've got any follow-up questions that I haven't answered here or you didn't want to ask publicly, then please send me an email directly. I'll put that in the chat as well, and you can get in contact and we can answer any questions. But yeah, hopefully it was all clear, and thanks so much for all the partners and all your support so far, and joining this call to help present it. So really appreciate that. And yeah, look forward to hopefully receiving some applications soon. With that, I think I'll close. So thanks very much.
Thanks, everyone. Good luck.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Cheers, thanks.
Cheers.